Okay, welcome everyone to another tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about JavaScript loops, and we're going to basically use the concepts that we've used in other sessions, in other tutorials to validate these. So let's quickly open and see what JavaScript loop is. Okay, so JavaScript loops are used to iterate the piece of code for while, do, while, for loop. So uh, it's used to iterate an element for a fixed number of time. So, for example, we want something to keep repeating itself. So that is what the loop does. You want something to keep happening, and basically the loop works with conditionals. In the last session we talked about conditionals. Yeah, so we talk about the if statement, the else if, the else, and the switch. So loops actually work with conditions. So you want something to happen a fixed number of time. You want to keep running until you are tired. So that is a loop. So we're saying if you're not tired, just keep running. So a loop, according to the name and the function in JavaScript, just iterates continuously until a certain condition is met. So we'll just dive right in and show you how loops work in JavaScript. So I'll simply create a new folder here and I'll call it JavaScript loop, and then I'll open with my VS Code. So we can see how the JavaScript loop works in real time, and we show an example. So I could zone this in. Okay, so basically what I'm just doing is adding my HTML template so we could work and link it with JavaScript. Okay, so let's open this and close this now. Oh, in the okay, good. So a link on JavaScript. Okay, so I'll just write a simple console.log. We want to see if we linked it successfully, and I open with live server, should open up on my browser. So basically what I do most of the time, because I might forget to link my JavaScript file, so I just write a console.log and check it to be sure that it's linked successfully. Okay, great. So we have test here. Okay, so now we can start writing. So we are talking about JavaScript loop. So we're gonna just look at the JavaScript loop and how it works. So basically, we have different type of loops. Let's take a look. We have the for loop, while loop, do while, and for in. I'm not gonna cover all these because you don't necessarily need all these, but it will be great for you to know them. So we have one. This will be posted on GitHub, so you could always have access to it. Where is the do while loop? And we have the for in. So I'm going to cover just three of these so you see how it works. So the way we write for loop is just by saying for. So it's saying for. So that is for a certain condition, do this. For a certain amount of time, do this. So we'll say you, like I said, is similar to if statement, but because it also takes in a condition. But the difference is that these are iterates, it don't just happen once. So we say for I is equals to 0. So we're declaring a variable. We're saying let I equals 0. Okay, let me add the for let I is equals to 0. And let's go to the browser and see what we have here. Wow, so you can see it says uh we declare a variable and then we are checking if I is less than 10. So the first time it it checks this condition. Is I less than 10? No, because I is 0. So I is not less than 10. So it said increase I by 1. So let's see what happens. So the first time it comes, uh, I is equal to 0. So it say is I less than 10? Yeah, I is less than 10. So it's increase I by 1. And it said I is equals to 1. So because it has run this code and it's increased I by 1, so now it goes again and say is I less than 10? We know 1 is less than 10, of course, so it goes again. So this is basically what happens. So it say is I less than 10? I is 2, so 2 is less than 10. It goes I is equals to 3, just like that until it reaches where I becomes 9. So you say, is I less than 10? Yes, I is less than 10. So it's I plus plus, okay. So we have 9, and then it goes again. So I is equals to 10. So now it comes here and say, is I less than 10? So I is not less than 10. So it stops here. It does not increment I, and the console.log I does not work. So that is why this does not get printed out. But I is 10 right at this moment, but because it has met this condition, so it does not get printed out. So you might be wondering that, but I is 10 here, so because of this it stops here because it met the condition, and this other part does not get executed. So we have this, so we could increase this to around 20, and you can see it's up at 19. So we could start from any number. We could say I should be 5. Let me just comment this out. So we could say I should be 5. Okay, so you can see it starts from 5 and it moves down to 19. So this means less than. We talked about this in the last session. So if you haven't watched it, kindly get it. The link will be posted on the channel so you could watch it. So what if we want to do like I is less than or equals to 20? So we could just add this. So now it's going to print out 20 for us so you can see. So we say if it's less than or equal to, so 20 is equal to 20, so it executes this. But the moment it gets to 21, it stop here, and this other part does not get executed. Wow, boring stuff always. Yeah, we are getting to the interesting part soon as. Okay, so let's see. That is the for loop. This is how it's been written. We're just gonna stop here and for loop. Then we're gonna talk about the while loop. Basically, these concepts are almost the same, just some few differences. And what's the difference? The while loop is just like the for loop. So it takes in a condition while I is less than 20. Let me comment this out. So while I is less than 20, we're gonna say I plus plus then console dot log I. Now what we are doing here is basically what we did here, but you can see we are splitting it into multiple lines and it takes only one condition. Unlike here, we can add the three conditions at the same time, but here firstly we have to define I. Let I equals to 0. You see, so now we define I outside this, and then we have just one condition. Basically it depends on which one you want to use. So you might decide you want to abstract it like this and have them separate on different lines. So it's going to give us the same thing, you can see. So it's giving us the same thing. So that is it. So you could just play around with the while loop. Basically for loop and while loop, they are the same. The only difference is we have them out here one line, just one line, and then we perform our function. So let's look at the do while loop. So okay, the do while loop, basically what it does is that in the two loops we've done, we are checking the condition before carrying out the action. So in for loop and while loop, we check the condition before the action. But in do while loop, we check the action before the condition. So we check the action before the condition. Take for example, so we want to send money to someone, and we want to say, okay, I want to send $2,000 to my friend, but I need to check if I have up to 2,000. Then if I have up to $2,000, then I send. So basically that is what for loop does. So we are saying if I have $2,000, then you send the money. But in do while loop, it will first send the money before checking if you have $2,000. Yeah, it's funny, right? Yeah, but you get to the use case and you're gonna see that it's important. So how we write it is we say do, uh, we have the do, and then we have the why. Okay, so this is the way we write it. So we're gonna say let I equal to 5. So we're going to say, okay, let's just make it uniform, everything 0. So we're going to say increment I plus plus, then we console.log I. So we say why I is less than 20. So basically what it does is before it even comes to this condition, it will increment I, it will log it before checking this. So we're going to have I starting from 1. So if I should open, you see, it's giving us the same thing because I'm basically writing it the same, but there are some cases where you are going to explicitly see the use of the do while loop and you're going to understand better. I haven't actually used it on any stuff ever since I learned it. I haven't actually used it. So we have 1 to 20. Great. So now we know how to use the for loop. Now let's look at how we could just manipulate the for loop and try um, loop through some set of numbers and print the result. Now in loops, you must be careful because you don't want to fall into an infinite loop. An infinite loop means it just keep running, that because it does not meet the condition. So for example, you just omit this part where you have the increment. So if you should omit this part, it just keeps running, it never stops. You understand? Because it's I will never be uh yeah, I will never be less than 20. Okay, not in this. Um if I yeah, not in this because there's a use case. Sorry, this is not the right example, but you must surely encounter it someday because when you write a loop and you don't give it a condition to stop, it just keep running. So let's take an example of, let's just create a simple number loop game. And what this game is gonna do is that it's just going to taking a number from a user, and then we're going to print out from 0 to whatever the person input. For example, I input 1000, then I'm going to count from 0 to 1000. Yeah, it's cool, right? So let's see. So we're going to collect the user input, so we convert it to a string and we prompt. So we say enter a number. So let's see, should prompt enter a number, and okay, yeah, I think I have entered an infinite loop here. So let me just copy this. Okay, yeah, so I just did this. Okay, so now it's asking me for a number. Whatever I input, nothing is showing because I haven't actually told it to do anything. So I'm just getting the user input. Let's log it and see user input. So now whatever I put in there is 45. So you see we have 45, but what we want to do is we don't just want to show this 45, we want to loop and get from 0 to 45. Okay, so let's see. So what we're going to do is we're going to say for let I is equals to 0. Then we have declared I, that is our variable we usually use. So most of the case when you say loops, you're gonna be saying I is being used widely. So we say I is equal to 0, that's our starting point. Then we say if I is less than user input, okay, less than or equal to, because we want to get to the user input, then we increment I. Then what we do, we just console.log I. So it's going to set our starting point to 0, then it checks each time it goes if it's less than or equal to whatever the person put in here, and then we increment. then we'll until it reaches 1 million. So until it reaches the condition. Okay, so you can see that I added 1000 and it keeps going. Okay, so we want to talk about the break and continue. So the break is used to stop a loop, while the continue is it skips a loop. Skips it is used to skip a loop, I think. We're going to look at how we're going to do both of them. So now when we talk about the break, let's take an example. We don't want a user to exceed uh, 500. So if the user input a number that is greater than 500, then we break. So let's see. Uh, so if we're gonna use if statement, if I is equal to 500, then we break. So well, if I is equals to 500, that means as I keeps increasing going, that is only when the person input a number that is greater than 500. So let's try cancel this, and we just try again. So I'm going to put in 200, so it prints it full. Then let me put 600, where you see it stops at 500 because we already set the limit here that if I is equal to 500, so we break. So we also want to do it that we skip the a number. We want to skip a particular number, that is let's make it 200. So okay, let's make it 20. So we're gonna skip 20. So if I is equal to 20, so we just say continue. So what it does is it skips that number. So I just reload and I put in 30. Okay, okay, I still have, if I is equal to 20, continue. Okay, let's see. So 34. Oh, my continue is not working. Okay, let's quickly debug and see what the problem is. If I is equal to 20, okay, okay, continue. For JavaScript, continue. Okay, let's see what the continue does. Let's check out the victory score and see what it does, and then we could. Yeah, I knew it jumps. Yeah, it skips, but I don't know why it refuses to work. So let's see. If I is equal to 3, that's exactly what I did. So if okay, if I equal to 20, continue. Okay, so basically because this guy is here, so it's supposed to be above yeah, so like this should work. So cancel this and reload. So I put in 34. Oh great, so you can see now we have 19, then it skips the loop and continues to 21. So basically that's how break and continue works. So let's look at one more example where we're going to accept a a value. We're going to ask the person to guess the number. Let's see if that works. So just create a simple guessing number game. So we're just gonna create a simple guessing number game. Okay, hopefully this works. I'm not pretty sure. So we're gonna say, let me quickly log this. Let's user input enter a number. We have user input here again. So you might have noticed I'm adding plus at the back. So this plus is used to convert a string to a number because prompt is giving us a string. So we have to convert it to a number. I'm going to say let user input, and then I'm going to say for let's see, for let's I equals to just I've not tried this actually before. I is equals to just okay, I don't know if this is gonna work. mm, let's see. I want to say if the user input is basically I'm just walking you guys through so you see how we can break down problem. So let's brainstorm together. Let's see if I is equals to user input. Okay, let's try the while loop. Why okay, let's see if this does not work out, then because I don't want to rush. So why I is equals to user input, then I equals to Joe. So if I equals user input console, sorry, uh, I'm mixing it up. Yep. Let's go do so we're saying do this while I equals user input. Okay, so console.log correct name. Okay, let's see if it works, and we break. Okay, so let's see. I said enter a number, a name. Okay, so we're gonna have enter a name. So J boy. Okay, no, that's not what I want. Joe. Okay. Um, do okay. Basically, what I want is it's going to prompt. Okay, let's try this way. So I want to say for let's I equal to 0 and okay, and name. I'm just gonna set a variable. Let name equal to Joe, and name is if the name is not equals to uh user input. Okay, if the name is not equals to user input, let me just say value because it's showing deprecated. So if it's not equals to user input, I'm just trying to brainstorm something so you guys can just play along. So we increase the value of I. So what we want to do is that if the is not equal to if value is not equal to user input, let's try this. Okay, so let's actually try. Ah, okay. All right, we're gonna have infinite loop here. Yep, surely I know. Yeah, so I just close this and open it again. Let's open the console. Joe. Okay, it's not stopping. I equals 0. Okay, okay. So basically, it's not going to work. I was just trying to implement something. So we are going to, once we get into functions, then this is going to work because right now it's not working. But once we get into functions, which will be our next class, we're going into function, then we can uh, get it to this. But meanwhile, if you can make this to work with only the for loop or whichever loop, then you can try it out and post it in the group or on the comment, wherever. Just play around with it and see if you could make it work. It could be possible you could make it work. So just play around with it, and hopefully see you guys in the next lesson. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also post your questions in the comment on the group chat. I'll be available to answer all your questions. So thank you, and don't miss out on functions. It's gonna be interesting, trust me.